I almost didn't go. Work parties aren't my thing. Loud music. Forced laughter. Small talk that feels like performance art. But my wife insisted. It matters to me, she said. You've never met my team. So I put on a suit, adjusted a tie I rarely wore, and showed up. The venue was a rooftop lounge downtown, glass railings, city lights reflecting off polished floors, waiters weaving through conversations with trays of champagne. She looked proud introducing me. This is my husband. Smiles. Handshakes. Polite nods. Then we met him. Her boss. Gregory Halstead. Tall. Loud. The kind of man who fills space before he earns it. His handshake lingered a little too long, his smile just a little too practiced. So you're the husband, he said, glancing me over. What do you do? I gave my usual answer. I work in logistics. He smirked. Ah, he said. Keeping the trucks moving. I didn't correct him. Something like that. He chuckled and turned back to my wife. Well, we keep her busy here. Late nights sometimes. Hope you don't mind. There was something in his tone. Ownership. Not professional. Personal. I smiled politely. As long as she's respected. His eyebrow lifted. Of course, he said. We run a competitive environment. Translation, hierarchy matters here. Drinks flowed. Conversations blurred. Later in the evening, a group gathered near the bar. Gregory had clearly been drinking. He started telling stories about closing deals, managing people, carrying the company. Eventually he turned to me again. So logistics, he said loudly. Tell me, how many people do you manage? Forklifts count? A few awkward laughs. My wife shifted beside me. I kept my tone calm. Enough to stay busy. He leaned closer. Must be nice not having real pressure. Out here, performance decides survival. There it was. The challenge. Public. Subtle enough to deny. Sharp enough to sting. I shrugged lightly. Pressure's relative. He smirked. You ever run a division budget? I shook my head. No. Technically true. I run multiple. But I didn't elaborate. He raised his glass. Didn't think so. The group laughed again, more forced this time. My wife looked embarrassed. I simply sipped my drink. Because I knew something he didn't. This wasn't my environment. But it used to be his. About an hour later, the company owner arrived. Older. Quiet authority. The room shifted when he walked in. People straightened. Conversations paused. He greeted teams, shook hands, made his way through the crowd. Then he saw me. And his face lit up. He walked straight over. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? He said warmly. Gregory blinked. I wasn't aware I needed clearance, I joked. The owner laughed and turned to the group. You all know Daniel Carter, right? Silence. Gregory looked confused. The owner continued. He's the consultant who restructured our national distribution network last year. Saved us 8 figures. The air changed instantly. Gregory's smile vanished. I nodded politely. Just here as a guest tonight. The owner clapped my shoulder. Well, if you ever want to come on board full-time, the offer stands. Then he moved on. Leaving silence behind him. Gregory stared at me. You never mentioned that. You didn't ask, I replied calmly. My wife tried to hide her smile. Gregory cleared his throat. Well. Impressive. I nodded. No gloating. No victory lap. Just quiet composure. Because humiliation wasn't the point. Perspective was. Later that night, on the drive home, my wife squeezed my hand. You let him talk down to you. I shrugged. I didn't need to win a conversation. She smiled softly. You definitely won the night. I shook my head. No, I said. He learned something tonight. That's enough. Here's the truth people forget. You don't always reveal who you are. You don't correct every assumption. You don't fight every ego.